Mikel.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good.
How special is this?
Beautiful, isn't it?
Do you think it every time you walk out?
Yeah. Every time I come in the stadium and every time you walk out here, you feel, wow, how lucky we are to do what we do.
So normally when we see you do that walk, it's intense, you're in matchday mode. What is that like for you, those few seconds before kick-off when you come up the tunnel, you see the supporters and you take your seat?
You are in action mode, basically, and you just want to gather the energy of the stadium, start to think positively and start to focus on what is about to happen to make the right decision.
Should we step into your office?
Sure,
Because
yeah.
I'm excited about this. Do you feel like, as a manager...
Too big for me, this space.
Well, do you know what? One point of this, I always think at Arsenal, the gap between the dugouts maybe takes a bit of tension out of it sometimes, do you think?
Yeah, every stadium is different. I think it's good.
Do you feel like you can really affect a game from here? I've heard different managers say different things.
I think there are certain things that we can help and support the players. They can certainly feel that we are with them in the actions, but we can affect them positively, and sometimes as well we can affect them negatively too.
So do you ever look out at this and think, wow, like, what an opportunity, what a responsibility, all these guys, and from around the world as well, because you see that middle banner with, you know, fans from Australia, Wales, Seychelles, you know, and it's on you, Mikel.
No, it's not. There's not a lot of people at the club, and then basically it's on the players, but you do feel it, you know. But as well, you feel really lucky that you can influence in a way, you know, for these people to feel proud of what we do, how we do it, and what we transmit as a club and as a team, and that's a very powerful thing.
You enjoy match day?
Yes, I do, yeah.
You do? I thought it might be too much on it, too many nerves.
That's the moment that I love the most. The week you are preparing and you are trying, and it's good because it's a moment in the preparation when you think, I've got it. Now this is how I want to do it. And this is great, talking to the coaches and preparing everything. But when it comes to match day, is when your tummy starts to feel, it's the moment.
Really? You enjoy that?
Yeah,
fascinating.
yeah. Yeah.
What about if a game, that doesn't happen too often, you're doing well in the league, well in the Champions League, but if a game's not going well, you don't like something tactically or performance-wise, you still like you're enjoying the moment, it's not till maybe
That's
afterwards.
the worst moment. Afterwards, when it finishes and you feel like, maybe I should have done it differently, or we didn't really generate what we have to do, and today wasn't the team that I want to see, then you feel especially really guilty, you know, and you want to start to have a look at everything, and it's painful.
So 200 Premier League games now in charge of this club.
It's been fast.
Does it feel fast?
Very fast, to be fair.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
So you haven't changed too much, Mikel.
I have, believe me, I have. But
go on then. How different a person are you from the guy who came back in 2019?
As a person, I don't know if I will be too different. Probably the way I take things and the way I approach things will be a little bit different, hopefully. Better prepared. I've been very lucky to have great people around me throughout this fascinating journey. And I love what I do so much as well every single day that it happens really fast, honestly. It's 5 years, 200 games, but it's gone fast because I love it so much.
So when you first walked through the door, how did you find Arsenal? Because you knew the club, you'd captained the club. How did you find the club in 2019 in terms of maybe its sense of itself, its self-confidence?
The way to describe it, I was in the other bench because I was with Man City there just a few days before I got appointed. The feeling was, wow, I don't feel the soul of the club. You know, I could not feel the energy in this stadium as it used to be. So that was the first objective. You know, we have to rebuild and transform that, because without that, I don't think we have much to hang in.
So how did you go about that, transforming things?
Well, first of all, convincing the players and everybody works daily at the club that things have to change and the approach has to be very different. And we have to put another level of passion, energy, enthusiasm and demands internally to perform very differently.
So when you arrive, maybe have that first interview with the owners or director of football, whatever it may be, what do you set out as, this is Arsenal to me, this is my vision, this is what we need to be again? What do you say?
It's a lot of things, to be fair. So very difficult to describe. First of all, understanding what our values are and how our culture, we want to look like it. And then that we are here to win. We want to enjoy it.
Do you think that had been lost a little bit?
Yeah, we want to enjoy it. Great. We want to work with each other. We want to be accountable for what we do. But the outcome has to be exceptional there, to earn the right to win and win.
You just reminded me, actually. I think it was something you maybe said when you got the job about the 5 phases that you needed to go through to get Arsenal back. What phase are we in now?
Phase 4.
Which means what?
And we never finish, from phase 4 to 5. That's where we are at the moment.
Okay.
Which is establishing yourself at the highest level in Champions League, consistently perform with a DNA that is very, very clear, with a lot of unity throughout the football club, internally and externally, and being very close and touching big trophies.
So you said that to the owners on day one? And you said it would take, what, roughly around this time frame?
Yeah, I would say the steps and the time that it would take if we do certain things. That was my prediction.
Yeah. Not a bad prediction. It probably puts a different perspective on it for me, actually. It kind of, if that's what you set out and this is where you are.
Yeah, but it's not what we want to be as well, you know, and it has to come from ownership. Ownership was very clear that they are here to win and they are here to have a football club that really transmits values of competitiveness, togetherness, joy, but that everybody's here to win.
Do you know what? When you think about getting Arsenal back, I think I've said this to you before, I always think of a game, home to Fulham. The first year you challenged for the title, so it would have been early-ish in the 22-23 season. And I always remember it because it was kind of what you might call a normal Premier League game. I think Gabriel made a mistake, you were 1-0 down, you came back and you won it 2-1. And I just remember leaving from work that day and thinking, something's changed here. Like the atmosphere, even you're 1-0 down at home to Fulham, and the place was with you, and that was for me the day. Was there a day for you when you thought, okay, we've got momentum here?
I don't know to define a day, but it's a feeling that that daily you want to promote and you actually have to feel, and it's the staff and the players that we have and how much they push each other every day and how much they really want it. That's the day when you say, never is enough, the demands are always more and we have to do this more and we have to do it better. And when everybody is in that circle, good things happen.
So how would you maybe rate this season at this point? I think like externally there's almost sort of 2 ways of looking at it. I think maybe on one side there's people saying, given all the problems, to be nearly in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, to be where you are in the Premier League, you haven't half done bad with those issues. On the other hand, there's probably a school of thought that perhaps after going 8th, 5th, second again with 89 points, is this the first season that you've maybe taken a sideways step or even maybe a little backward step?
I don't know. I wouldn't like to, especially where we are in the season, to put a note, a score to what we've done. We are doing what we're doing with all the acknowledging the context and the situation that we have. Without that, there is no context. Even being second, or while we finished second the year before, and we didn't win it because a lot of things happen. And I don't know. We'll see at the end of the season where we are.
But I mean, I listened to your press conference. What was it? A couple of weeks ago, where you said, "Well, no, we've made big strides." What convinces you that this season again you've made those steps?
Well, a lot of facts and things that in the past have happened and how we have performed and reacted, and it's been very different to now.
Has it been a big learning season, growth season, do you think?
It always is, always is. And it gives you a lot of insight as well of how the squad have to be built, where you have to prepare for things that probably they're not on the paper and you don't really expect. And it gives you a lot of learning as well with the people that you have around and far from you, how they react in relation to what is happening.
Can you tell us as well how you've tried to develop the style? I think back to the first season, from memory, a lot of 3 at the back, counter-attack, particularly against the big teams. The first year that you challenged for the title, it was very open, but maybe a little bit more vulnerable, and now you've become more of a controlling side. So just talk us through those phases.
Just tell me the players that you have, and I tell you how we have to play. And then what the opposition allows you to do, because sometimes it's what you want to do and what your opposition allows you to do as well. I always believe that you have to put the players in their strengths, their abilities as often as possible. That's the main thing, in my opinion, as a coach, to maximize the resources that we have. And the first year or the second one, there are certain things, especially without the ball, against man-to-man, the last line we could not do.
But I feel like that's a bit of a debate. Would you agree in coaching at the moment? There's maybe a school of thought that principles, ideas, way of playing above everything, and then maybe more what you're saying, where you have to adapt to a game, you have to adapt to an opponent and a squad of players.
Yeah, but I understand that, and I am very, very much principle-driven and habits-driven. But for me, what defines a principle is the intentions within that principle. I want to play and I want to dominate position in the final set. With what intention? To have the position, just to have it. When you lose it, to do certain things, to constantly attack the box. What is the intentions that you have in relation to what you want to do?
And you're known as a very inventive coach. And I notice a new solution to try and find more goals. Two goals.
Or 3. That would be great.
That's the way, Mikel.
Yeah.
That's the way. I feel like a little bit for you this season, and I know, look, the injuries in one area would hurt any team, but the story of the season a little bit feels like you sort of dominating, controlling games, but kind of banging your head against the brick wall of the low blocks that are set up in front of you. Is that? Do you feel like yourself?
In some games we have, in some others against back blocks we've been exceptional, and we concede nothing and generate a lot. It's the hardest thing in football, to score goals and generate situations when you are open. It's true that in other games, in other seasons as well, we have scored goals very early, which has opened up the context of the game very differently, but try to do it better.
So to finish up then, what's next? How do you take the next step? I know you're always thinking about that. Do you know what I always think about? An interview I did with you after Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and you talked about wanting to make the team more unpredictable, but obviously injuries, life, football get in the way. So how do you, I'm talking about kind of style-wise, I guess. How do you get the team to take the next step? What is the next step?
Efficiency. I think when you are able to generate and dominate games like we've done, is after those 2 boxes at the end is what defined this game, being exceptional there.
Big summer ahead?
I don't know. Big day ahead tomorrow to prepare Man United.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mikel.
Take care.
Thank you, Mikel.
Nice to see you.